Good evening, everybody. We're here in the shop. Me and old Molly. Molly, say hi to him. Molly. Hard to find good help. But yeah, we're gonna try to get this here disaster cleaned up, get some of this junk out of here so we can get the truck in and try to get it level on this section of floor, and hopefully tomorrow we'll get that engine set. Stay tuned for that. Just gonna do some cleaning. Well guys, we got the lift all swept out from under, everything picked up, tires put away, so get the door open and we're gonna get that truck in. Gonna try to get her leveled up tonight, let it thaw out, get some motor mounts made tomorrow, Lord willing. I should get up the house, should have this boot. I can put that drive shaft together, get that in here, get that carrier bearing bolted up right there, clean up yoke, and then we'll have that in there to help set the drive shaft angle and such. And yeah. Well, there we go. Got it about as good as it's gonna get. Pretty level. If I had my 4-foot level, that would be really nice, but the only one I can find is this little 2-footer, so that'll do, I guess. But as you can see, all the way down, just gotta play with it a little bit until you can get it right. But yeah, the more level this is, the better that engine is gonna sit. Well, I think we're gonna call it a night. I was just doing a little grinding, wire wheeling that down, seeing how she turned out. So I think the frame will clean up pretty good, and Lord willing, tomorrow get the engine dropped in here. Do have to trim a little bit on this mount here, just to make it fit a little better, and I'll get back with you guys in the morning. I gotta go to work, so gonna be a little late. Take old Molly for a walk. You wanna go for a walk? Wanna go for a walk? You go outside? All right. See you guys later. Good morning, everybody. It is a beautiful, sunny, blue sky morning here in southern Wisconsin. Right now, we're gonna head over here and check out the old engine. Work on getting that engine pulled out of the shed, put into the shop, and stick it in that frame. Lord willing, that'll be accomplished by the end of today. Hey guys, I just wanted to share a short message with you to this time. Doing a voiceover because I ran out of time, but when I was in grade school, my teacher sent me up to the chalkboard to do a long division problem. And as I was standing up there, I was like, hey, can I get a calculator? And she said, well, Miles, you're not always going to have a calculator in your back pocket, are you? Well, joke's on her, because now pretty much everybody has a calculator in their back pocket. And it seems like our smartphones have made a big impact in the way that we go about our daily lives in all kinds of ways. You know, even the parts I just ordered, I ended up doing it on my smartphone. So I made a list of everything that I can think of that this phone has replaced. And it's pretty astounding, starting with a watch, calendar, flashlight, alarm clock, calculator, landlines, restaurant menus, letters, a camera, a compass, maps, business cards, notebooks, radios, service manuals, newspapers, address books, magazines, dictionaries, encyclopedias, board games, photo albums, cooking books, measuring tape, a level, a walkie-talkie, shopping, cash, credit cards, debit cards, paper checks, desktop computers, event cards, books, a paper Bible, creative thinking, critical thinking, problem-solving skills, ability to read, ability to write, ability to spell, common sense, face-to-face meetings, real friendships, church attendance, our significant other, our children, even God. The way we use this device has a huge impact on our lives, both physically and spiritually. I don't think that people understand just how much this thing has changed our lives, this technology that we now have at our fingertips, literally. And Jesus told us to be careful of these types of things, because not only can this be beneficial, but it can also lead us into some serious sin. And, sin has never been more readily available, especially on a device like a cell phone. Well, if you ever wondered about these stainless steel zip tie deals, I will save you the trouble and say they suck. Just had to go through about 10 of them to get 3 to stay. Tried to just make it look a little more professional than the standard zip tie, but yeah, doing it on this, not really ideal. They slip back out and they don't stay tight. Getting one of these back on can be almost impossible. So I thought that would be a good replacement, but not the case. So maybe just buy the right stuff. Anyway. Well, the angle finder needs batteries. Probably going to have to ease on down to the hardware store. You would think in this vast, clean shop a guy could find some batteries, but that is not the case. So, well, change of plans. Buddy Scott gave me a call and asked if I was doing anything, and I said, well, yeah. And he said, well, if you're bored, I'll come over and give you some company. And I said, well, sure. And he just so happens to have some AAA batteries. As soon as we get done getting those slapped in the angle finder, we'll work on getting everything situated here and ease this engine down into this frame. So, in Matthew chapter 5, Jesus tells his disciples and people that if their right eye causes them to sin, pluck it out and cast it from them. The right eye is a good thing. Jesus healed people's sight. He wasn't physically telling them to do this, but to get rid of those things in their life that are causing them to sin. Just like if our smartphones are that thing, they can be used for good or evil. Several hours later, God just knows what he's doing. I didn't ask for Scott's help. He's somebody I work with. We're friends, but he calls me up when I was looking for batteries for the angle finder, which works quite well, by the way. And he's like, hey, what are you doing? It's like, oh, just putting an engine in a frame. And ironically, he's like, well, I'm bored. You need some help. And man, if I hadn't had his help, this would have been a nightmare, just trying to get everything. There was so much that went into getting this engine sitting where it is right now. And I'll show you. It's not sitting as low as it could. But given the motor mounts and the situation there, we got it shimmed just enough so it's up off of there. But on these Fords, the pinion is offset. The carrier bearing, offset. The motor mounts are offset. So everything you see right here is about 4 inches to the right. And man, that made it really challenging to get this engine in here just right. So math, more math, equations. The number we came to was 4 1/4. Everything is basically 4 1/4 inches to the right. And just so everyone can see, button up against the top of the head here, it's pretty level. 5.5. Anyway, about a 5.5 degree angle backwards. In the back, our pinion is at a 5.3. I don't know if you guys, I showed you measuring the pinion angle. That's 5.3 degrees. But yeah, man, this has been a challenge just to get it to this point. And thankfully, everything is still movable. But man, praise God for just sending me help when I didn't even ask for it. That's amazing. That really thankful. And Scott's a smart guy. we work together. Yeah, next is going to be welding the motor mounts. In the next verse, Jesus says, if your right hand causes you to sin, to cut it off and cast it from you. Just reiterating the fact that sin is a serious thing, and so many times we're living in it and we're surrounded by it. We're surrounded by the temptations that we're not even sensitive. Our conscience is seared, as the Bible says. I challenge everyone, is your phone something that's benefiting your life, or is it something that's hurting it spiritually? When I came to Christ, there were things on my phone that I had to get rid of, different apps, different things that social medias, I have one form of social media, but other than that, everything else, it had to go. And just as something, even maybe it's not wrong, but what's right with it? I know that there's times in my life where I've justified something because I said, well, there's nothing wrong with this. That's not what we should be focused on. We should be focused on how can we use these things for God's glory and for furthering his kingdom here on earth. We are his ambassadors. And I just challenge everyone tonight to be conscious of that, to be wise. Not wise in our own eyes, but wise according to God and what he's done for us and what he's granted us to do. So I'm going to share this message tonight with a group of teens, and I hope it goes well. I preach occasionally at my local church, but you guys continue watching this video. I hope you really enjoy just how much work goes into some of this stuff. I'm not a professional. There's a good amount of editing and different things that I'm trying to learn and get better at, this is the first time I've ever done it. So, obviously there is a learning curve, and I've got a couple friends that do YouTube and really picked up on some of the things I'm doing now from them. So just grateful for good friends and the ability to just have God's grace to do this stuff. So God bless you guys. Have a good night. Hope you enjoy the rest of this video. This one I couldn't get a whole lot of weld in there, but it's enough for now. Definitely gonna put some gussets on here, maybe. I don't know. It'll be interesting, seeing as how nothing's quite the same. But I was gonna show you guys. I was just checking that out. The height where the transmission is now would be perfect for this. But wouldn't you know, this is the wrong transmission mount. And I don't know. See, I have the 4-wheel drive transmission right here. And I might have a mount somewhere in this mess of parts. So if I could at least get one to fab it up and try to make it, sit. I don't know. I think we're going to call it quits for tonight. It's already getting late. Past 10 o'clock, which for some people might be just fine, but I'm old, so have a good night. God bless, and we'll see you next time.